Welcome. This is Teresa Rich from Reflexology, UK in Dorset, and I've got Arve here from Norway, who's going to be talking about body reflexology. And I just wanted to introduce how I came across him. It was really, really simple, really. It was in the earlier days of Facebook, and there's hundreds of forums now on Facebook, and I was so taken back with how would I say it, the sincerity with how he would take so much of his time out for answering different questions that people were coming up with. And I thought, I like what this guy's about. I had no idea he was a tutor, but I was just fascinated to understand about him as a person. So, that's what you do. And I have wanted to do these webinars. I've been doing a succession of webinars, interviewing different people, but there's always been a reason why I've got in contact with someone, because my purpose was to want to share all the knowledge that there is, where I felt a connection with different people. So, before I start, or before you start, should I say, I do have to say a big thank you for your time, for coming on, because you do this of your own accord, and all the bits of practice we've done with just technical bits. So I must say thank you before anything, and all the training you've done with me for how to pronounce your name. So I must say thank you to that, and also thank you to everybody that's come online. There are some people that I recognise, but if you could say where you're from, and then I could give Arve an idea of where people are from. So if you could just put, there's a questions box that you can actually put where you're from. So we've got some shy people here, but I've had Shropshire, Oxford. I know there's someone from Canada because I remember that, someone from Bournemouth, Canada, Mid Wales, 2 people from Canada, Rugby, wherever Rugby is. I know it's in the UK. Blackburn, Lancs, UK. Brilliant. That's Jackie. Super. Southampton, Lauren. Monmouthshire. Is there anyone? Oh, brilliant. And Agota is from Dorset, even though I know she's from abroad as well. So lots of different people from around. So I'm not going to... Okay, fantastic. That's good. So brilliant. Just to say, folks, hello to Jean, Agota, Marilyn, Jackie, Lauren, Hannah, Romy, Julie, Rhoda, Sarah. Hi, Sarah, Brenda. And it goes on and on and on. Fantastic. Good. So what I just wanted to say was, in connection with your connection, folks, my connection, I mean, I'm presuming it's going to be pretty good, and Arve's is going to be pretty good. But if you get kicked out of the webinar for whatever reason, it's because of the connection that you've got. So you're best off making sure that you're in a quiet room, that no one else is on computers, but it does depend on what your connection is. I am recording the event, so if there's any problems, then obviously we can send you a recording if Arve's happy with that. So this is full body reflexology, and I'm going to take it over to you, Arve. All over to you. If you want to explain about how you came in contact with this, really.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for letting me do this. Full body reflexology is kind of invented by Karl-Axel Lind. He is a Swede. He died a few years ago, and he was my teacher a long time ago. So I am one of very few teachers, and probably only one of the 2 that speak English normally. The education, as we run it in Norway, is 400 hours. So this will just be a very short introduction to some parts of how we do, how we think. Okay. One of the first fundamental properties of a reflexology must be highlighted before we start. Reflexes are bidirectional. Not everyone think about that. If an impact happens to the buttock, then the buttock reflex on the foot will be affected. And the other way around, when an impact happens to the buttock reflex on the foot, the buttock will be affected. So here is a strange phenomenon that called something like piezogenic pedal populace. In many cases, this is called idiopathic. That means that the doctors don't know the cause of it. You can probably see the white areas on the heel. They should not be there. So, how should we treat this? There are several ways of approaching it. Is this a buttock problem that can be treated on the buttock reflex on the foot? Oh, sorry. Or is it a heel problem that can be treated on the heel reflex, also on the foot? Or is it both ways? You don't always know what is the cause and what is the effect. But there is also another possible option. If it is a heel problem and reflexes are bidirectional, it will make it possible to treat the problem on the buttock. Since the feet project the whole body and the reflexes are bidirectional, we can conclude that there are reflexes all over the body. It's not many foot reflexologists that thinks of this, but it is actually the case. The next piece of information is from hand reflexology. The red area here, marked 31, is the pelvic area, and that includes also the buttocks. So now we have two reflexes on the body that is projecting the buttocks. And since we have already stated that the reflexes are bidirectional, the buttocks will be projected on both this area mentioned. The area of the foot that is projected on the buttock, the area of the hand is projected on the buttock. They are overlapping. So then it's not so easy to know which of the reflexes that is active. But okay. From this little example, it's possible to conclude another fundamental property of reflexology. Reflexes are multi-layer, and that is very important in full body reflexology. Full body reflexology is using reflexes absolutely all over the body. Many are aware of reflexes on the hands, the feet, the ears, some other on the face, but we use it all over the body. Yeah, I will show you more about that later. The fact that projections are multi-layer opens for some very interesting possibilities. I cannot show you everything today. Maybe we can do some other things another time. Yeah. I hope this don't turn you head upside down. Hope you still understand that it's reflexology I'm working with. And I also hope that you are curious about what I have to say more. Just one little thanks to Henrike Bergmans for lending her picture from her book. Mhm.
Yes.
That was the first part, very fast. So I hope people are following me in this speed.
Yes, yes, yes. So, you said I could ask questions after the first PowerPoint, because we've got three, folks. We got three PowerPoints. So, from my understanding, anyone else you can ask questions, because he said, Arve said we could ask questions at the end of each PowerPoint, and it's a 45-minute webinar, which finishes at 12:45. So, as I understand, you've got your direct areas on the feet, the hands. Are you saying that there's or we're going to learn this in another part of the PowerPoint? Are you saying that there's direct areas within the body? Are they direct, or are you saying it's like face reflexology? You've got face reflexology, and then you've got even smaller areas within the nose, which maps the whole body. You've got the whole body on the ears, which maps the whole body. So is that, is your whole body going to be the whole body directly, or is there going to be a concentrated effort within an arm or something like that?
It's both.
Okay.
And you have in each projection, as I call it, in each reflex area, you have even reflexes on that. So on your foot, you have a small area for the head. On that area, you can work with air reflexology on the projection of the air. Did you follow me now?
No, of the projection of.
Okay, let's stay with the foot.
Okay, all right then.
On your foot, there is a reflex, foot reflex.
Yes.
Yes. But on that foot reflex, there is also projected a foot. So there is a reflex on the reflex.
Yes. Yes, I'm with you. I'm totally with you. Right. Hopefully I've had a question come in, so just bear with me. Have I had a question? Hopefully. Okay. Very interesting, and I'm curious to know about reflexes being multi-layered. Will you be able to explain, or are you going to be explaining this in another PowerPoint? And that's from Sarah.
Yeah, I will go into it in a minute.
Okay.
But as there are infinite number of projections on the body, there is also infinite number of layers.
Cool.
So you have to, when you are trained and got some experience, you will not think of it so much. It will automatically.
Yes.
And you also get some habits. You know where to find things. But I will show you in the next presentation interesting overlapping reflexes.
Brilliant. And I've got one more question before we go on to the next presentation. Having fallen over recently onto my buttocks, I broke my arm and wrist. The hardest area to mend has been my hand on the right lower side in the buttock area of the hand. I now understand why. And that was from Brenda Bradford. Excellent. Thank you for that, Brenda. So I'd love to hear about your second presentation now. That was great, Brenda. Makes sense. So if you'd like to talk about your second presentation.
Yeah. Okay. This is something we call System 2 in full body reflexology. What you all know as simple foot reflexology is what we call System 1. This is actually a presentation that I made for the RIAN conference a few years back. This is my friend, Fernanda. She's helping me with illustrating this System 2. I'm only interested in her legs at this time, and to show you this projection, we make a copy. and then I reduce her, and I put her upside down. And then I undress her. I'm only interested in a part of her skeleton. And since we mainly think of the half of the body on each foot, we split her. And then we move that part of the skeleton into the leg. And now I change so that you can see through the leg. I don't know if you can see the pointer of my mouse. No.
Yes, we can. We can.
Okay, I cannot see it, but you can see below one of the knees. You see the sacrum area of the skeleton. Mm-hmm. So you can access that by walking just below the knee and around the knee. So this is the more complete view of this projection. You can maybe see the nose, the eye, the ear, the mouth, the shoulder, the breasts, the arm, hand, the leg, the knee, the thigh, of this body projected on the leg. So the overlapping part here is on the planar side of the foot. That is on the inside of your head. So you have all the glands in your head. You have the actually full access to the smaller parts of the brain. And you can think that, for instance, amygdala is in the area of the kidneys. And I hope that makes sense to you. The kidneys are very important in regulation of mood. And that is also the amygdala of the brain. So there is a very tight connection between those projections. Yeah, that was also fast. So I hope people did follow that.
Okay, do we have any questions just with, I think it's really good that you're taking it slowly, Arve, because it's a lot to take in for me. Has anyone got any questions with the leg? I think, because you've only taken a small portion of the body, haven't you?
Yeah.
Has anyone got any questions with the leg, showing how it's bilateral and multidimensional with all those layers?
Yeah. I can also say that when you have bigger areas to work on, it might be easier to work. You will find, okay, so for instance, the mouth. In the foot reflexology, the mouth is very small. But in the system 2, it's much bigger. It's easier to work on, easier to find. You can find more details. You can find a tooth in that projection. So it's more accurate in many ways.
Okay, so within this, how do you make movements if it's all, multi-layered and everything? What sort of movements do you use in order to release the toxins or the build-up that there could be?
We are using much the same thing as you do in foot reflexology.
Oh.
But I can use bigger. For instance, sometimes I use my elbow. And so it's not so stressful for my hands. Mm-hmm. Can you see me now?
I can see you very well.
Okay. I also use these sticks.
Okay.
That's also to relieve my hands. make it easier to work. And you see, this one is quite sharp, so I can access very small points. I use this a lot, for instance, in the air. Yeah. I also use needles.
Is that acupuncture needles?
Actually, acupuncture needles, yes, but it's an option for the therapist if you wish to use those needles or not.
Mm-hmm.
I use them a lot, but I use them mostly on myself,
Okay.
not so much on clients.
No, no, not everyone's open to needles, are they? Within
No.
that. Okay, cool. I've got. I'm just going to home in on questions. Okay, some good ones here. Okay, do you have maps for these larger projections? That's hi, Simon. That's from Simon.
Yeah, during the teaching of full body reflexology, you will have maps for more or less absolutely the whole body.
Right. And so are there books written? Have you written a book, or are there books that you're, to gain a greater understanding of this?
There is nothing in English
No.
except from a booklet that I have
Yes.
written. It's named Notes on Full Body Reflexology. There are some air maps there, and it's only text, more or less, how we think. So you might find it interesting. It's actually written much for foot reflexologists.
Right. Okay. Cool. And Brent, I hope that answers your question, Simon. And where is the hand and the foot on your map? So, if we go back to your map of your second presentation, could you show us
Okay.
where the hand and the foot was? That was from Brenda
Yeah,
Bradford.
let's see. Is
If you bring that up as a full PowerPoint slide, then we'll be able to see it.
I can probably do that. Slideshow, start from current slide. Okay, now I
Right.
have my mouse pointer as well.
Yay! Good, 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 good.
Okay, here is the shoulder.
Yes, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have the
The
upper
arm.
arm. Oh, sorry. Uh,
Just go back.
let's try. Yeah. The elbow
Yeah,
is here,
yeah,
and the wrist,
yeah.
and the hand. It
Excellent.
might overlap in a way. We usually say that the thumb is connected to the big toe on the foot.
The tongue.
Thumb. The thumb of, yeah, the finger.
Oh, the
The
finger.
big finger.
Okay. The
Yeah,
thumb. The thumb. Yes.
sorry.
That's all
Yeah,
right.
that is connected to the big toe of the foot here. They are touching each other.
Yes. That makes
So then we
sense.
have the ankle, the leg, the knee, the
Yes.
thigh,
Yes.
and the hip. So the hip is actually in the knee.
Yes. Yeah.
And of course, there is also an inside of this body. So we can access the heart, the lungs, the intestines, reproductive organs,
Mm-hmm.
the same way as we can do with the inside of the head
Brilliant.
underneath the foot.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good. So I hope, Brenda, that answers your question. If you can just let me know. I've got another question if you're open to this as well, before we do the final PowerPoint. What kind of results do you get from full body reflexology? Are they similar to the same results as foot reflexology results?
Yes and no. Um,
That was from
I-
Rebecca Ryan.
yeah. Um, okay, I have to be careful with what I say now. Um, The reason we introduce more projections is that we hope to get better results. If we have several projections, it gives us more opportunities to assess the problems of the client in the right way. I don't know what you have experienced, but I often hear that foot reflexology have issues that they don't find on the foot. And in that case, I would say try another projection. If you have, there is a very nice story told on the REIN conference in Limerick in 2006, I believe. It was a story about a cancer patient, and the reflexologist did not find any symptoms of cancer. So I would say that, oh, pity, you should have known about some other systems, and I'm sure you would found the problem in them, and then you could help your client in a better way. Each system has their own properties, their good sides and their bad sides. For instance, as I mentioned, details in the face can be very good to use system 2. The foot reflexology map is very good in acute problems. If you fell and hurt your elbow or something, the foot reflexology makes a very good relief. But when you work on, for instance, mental problems, I would have chosen something else. So each system that we add have their specialities in a way. So it gives us a lot more options.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And it's about keeping an open mind, which is super, because it's for the benefit of the client to get them better, whichever means that's going to be. So fantastically explained. I hope that answers your question, Rebecca. Victoria has actually said, this all makes sense. It correlates and helps explain to us more clearly how foot and hand reflexology links and how our referral areas link, e.g. example being hip shoulders. It's really good to understand this. So fantastic. Thank you very much for that, Victoria. Really appreciated. Okay, Arve, if you'd like to do the third PowerPoint presentation, because there's obviously a lot to this. So.
Yeah. I just want to say one other thing that may provoke you. There are a lot of people that think of themselves as experts in foot reflexology, and they might be very good in it. But I will say that you cannot be a real expert in foot reflexology without being aware of full body reflexology and have a slight knowledge of it. So I will absolutely recommend you to taste it, get familiar with it. Yeah. Okay, then I will see if I can start the third part here. Oh, something has happened. Okay, this is actually the second part, second picture. I will now just show you where I'm working on different problems. So I have made a scenario. If we have a client with a painful elbow, problematic bowel, hemorrhoids, mood swings, and large mucus production in the throat. How will I approach this client? So the painful elbow can be worked on the eyebrow,
Yes.
in the ear, in the middle of the clavicular, on each finger, on each toe, on the lateral side of the leg, as you saw in the previous presentation, and similar on the lateral side of the underarm. There is also a point on the lowest rib, the floating rib. And of course, the foot reflexology point for the elbow. The problematic bowel. In the armpit, there is a good area. Of course, there is several areas in the ear. There is something on the sternum. There is something on the underarm, in the same way as there is on the leg in the projection I showed you recently. And in the groin, on the inside of the thigh, and also on the lateral side of the thigh, on inside the hand, and all fingers. There is actually a projection also on each toe, but they are not good for this, so I have not marked them. Yeah, this is only a few of the possible areas I can work on. Okay, yellow is not so easy to see, but again, the ear, the tip of the sternum, the inside of the underarm, on the hand towards the wrist, and on each finger. And the same on the foot. It's on the system 2. It's just below the knee. And we have 2 points under the foot, just in front of the heel, and just where you would find the throat in the foot reflexology map. The mood swinging, the ear will be a very good place to work on. There is also a point on the tongue that is not marked here. You have again the tip of the sternum, and you have a area on the inside of your underarm, on the tip of each finger, on the patella of the knee, on the side of the heels, and you have the big brain from system 2 underneath your foot, and you have on all the toes a little brain. And the production of mucus, again, the pit of the arm, and the area near the elbow, and the wrist, and similar areas on the foot, in the groin, and just above the knee, and just above the ankle. And you also have on each toe.
Excellent.
So here is everything. And what we look for then is areas that is marked that overlap each other. We have a lot of marks on the ear, but if we take a closer look, it would not be actually overlapping. They are near each other, but they are not overlapping. Yeah, there was where you find the green area under in the armpit, there was a black as well, but that is covered by the green one. We have also much around the elbow, and we also see that, yeah, the elbow was a problem. In the same way, we have a lot of areas marked around the knee. So those areas can be very good to treat. Also, the tip of the sternum, there are two colors there, two marks. And we have the toes. So if this client had come to me, I would not worked on the elbow, since he has already pain in the elbow. But since the elbow is also projected on the other side of the body, so if he have an injury in his left elbow, I could treat on his right elbow. But I would definitely treat on his knees, because they're representing the elbows, and there are a lot of overlapping projections there. The tip of the sternum, the elbows, and the tip of the fingers, and the tip of the toes are those that I would focus on in this case. Yeah. This exercise is something that you do automatically in your head when you are trained in full body reflexology. And as I said, there are a lot more projections, a lot more reflexes. But this was just to show you what area we are working on. Yeah. Okay.
That's brilliant. That is. Are you at the end of your third presentation? I think it's actually clicked with me, because I know in facial reflexology, when I'm teaching it, we show different maps of the face where they overlap one another. So there's different pictures that you learn, and I'm guessing that this, not guessing, but from what you're explaining, it's the same thing when you're talking about projections. Hallelujah! Because I didn't understand when we spoke ages ago, but I feel like I do now. So it can sound like overwhelming at first, hey?
Face reflexology, as you know, is a part of the full body reflexology.
Exactly. So instead of it having one picture, there are many. But I just wanted to bring up some questions, because we've only got about 7 minutes left. Let's see. Right. How have they worked out where all these areas are, i.e. have they used findings from numerous case studies, or gone back to foot, face, ear, and whatever reflexology theories, and use them to map out these areas to a larger scale to represent the whole body? How did they find out, the guy that you learned from, how did they find out all these things in order to make that understand?
He started as a foot reflexologist just in the 60s, and he asked the question, is this only about the foot? And he started to search up the leg, found something strange, and then he had some cases that he got in, and gradually it expands to the full body, and we see similarities all over the body. We understand much more now than when I started in '99. But this is an evolution. It's a continuous process. The green area in this previous presentation on the lateral side of the thigh, that is something that is not on any maps yet. I haven't drawn the map yet. I discovered this area, I think it was 2 years ago. I have only told a few persons about it, so you are among the early one.
Brilliant, brilliant. And some people are already coming through and saying they understand what you're saying now, which is brilliant, really is. Because you know what, folks, when I first started reflexology like 20 years ago, it was like just feet. And as I'm doing these webinars, and then suddenly, 10 years ago or whatever, CPDs came about, 15 years ago or whatever, and we started learning so much. There's so much, information that is available to us, which is fantastic because we never used to have the internet. And, I'm speaking to Arv, he's speaking in English to me. It's absolutely fascinating how we're able to heal people. And it's not just, I'm wrapped up in this little ball of cotton wool and it's just foot reflexology. We're finding out more and more as we speak to different people, and it's opening our minds up to all the possibilities that there are. And I cannot thank you enough, Arv, for actually explaining something to us in English and not in your language, because I don't think there's anyone else that most probably explains it in English, and for taking the time to put these presentations together. So I hope you all appreciate it, because it's not easy speaking it in another language, is it? As well. So,
No, I
sorry?
still I'm still thinking in Norwegian, and then I have to express those thoughts in English. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bit sometimes.
It is, it is. So really, really appreciated. So can you tell me, um, how long these courses are for, where you do them, all this sort of thing? Because I'm sure there are going to be people that are, wanting to know more.
Yeah, I tried to start a course in English in Belgium or Netherlands, but there was not enough people interested. So I have actually never been teaching abroad. But as I say, if there is a group that wants me to teach them, I will do it. I will be happy.
So when you're in Belgium, how long does the course last? How does it work?
Um,
Or
we have
Norway,
to
I should
think.
say. Yeah.
Yeah, we do things another way in Norway. But in Belgium, it was weekends. So
Weekends.
we start on Friday and on Sunday. So yeah, and we just start with a part of the body, a new projection, and got experience with that and build stone for on stone, as
Yes.
we say in Norway. Yeah.
Brilliant. And how can you have you got your chat box there? Can you put your details in the chat box, like your phone
Uh,
number and website or email? Are you able to put that so people can get in contact with you themselves? You able to put
mm,
that? Or do you want to tell me
uh,
and I'll put it?
well, I'm not sure if. Yeah, I can try.
Yeah? You got the chat box. That's it. Brilliant. So, that's to me only. Fine, that's okay. So I'll copy that and then I'll put it to everybody.
Yeah,
Hopefully I will. At
I have some handouts for the course in Netherlands, Belgium,
yeah,
and I can send them as a prospect
okay.
if people.
That's right. I'm sending it to the entire audience. So that's how you can get in contact with Alva. I'm still trying to say your name correctly. I hope that's okay. That's great. So I've just copied and pasted it. Brilliant,
Yeah,
brilliant, brilliant.
I'm also on Facebook, and
Yes, make friends with him.
yeah, my name is unique. I'm the only one in the world with that name, so it's not so hard to find me.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant, brilliant. So is the course like a couple of weekends, Oliver? Or is it one weekend? How many case studies do people need to do?
Oh, the full education, as we run it here in Norway, it's spans 2 years.
Right.
Uh, it's 400 hours education. It's about 130 treatments. But that is for people with no experience in
Yes.
reflexology at all. So it's not easy to give a general answer to
No.
those things.
No. And I've got to get you coming over really, because I've got Jean who already has said, Teresa, can you get him to come over to the UK? So I think we need to speak sometime. Okay, so that would be fab. Absolutely. I find it fascinating as well. Absolutely fascinating. And again, of everyone has put in, thank you so much. Really interested. That was from Sarah. So interesting. I'm looking forward to the day he comes to Canada. That was from Rhonda. Thank you. Great. So you might as well just do a world tour. Very interesting, Marilyn Hodges. And so on, but I think there's an interest, so I would love to have you come over to the UK, but we'll need to speak about it, obviously, which is great. So
Yeah.
thank you so, so much. But everyone has said thank you very much. Really great. So is there anything else you want to say, Arv, before we finish?
I will just say thank you myself. Thank you
Oh,
for listening.
thank you
Thank you for
so
your time.
much. Oh, bless you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Say goodbye, everyone. Bye. Bye. I'll put your details up on Facebook.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone, for attending. Bye for now. Bye. And I'm